Today, India has made an announcement that's nothing short of declaring war, not on America directly, but on the US dollar itself. The Reserve Bank of India, with approval that clearly couldn't have happened without Modi's nod, has issued an order. From now on, international trade involving India will be settled in Indian rupees instead of US dollars. What does that mean? Let's break it down. If India wants to buy something from another country, instead of paying in dollars, they will now pay in rupees. Any foreign company wanting to sell goods to India will have to open a bank account inside India, in rupees. India will deposit the payment directly into that account, and the goods will be shipped. So no more converting rupees to dollars. No more massive reliance on the dollar for imports. This is a direct blow to the U.S. currency's dominance. Think about it. India exports roughly $900 billion worth of goods and imports around $950 billion. If even a portion of those imports are paid in rupees instead of dollars, the rupee's value will strengthen while the U.S. dollar takes a hit. India's strategy is clear. Exports, keep earning dollars to strengthen reserves. Imports, push them into rupees to cut dependency on the dollar. If both imports and exports shift to rupees, the currency's power will grow, and America's dollar will weaken. This is, in every sense, a declaration of economic war. Once dependency on the dollar fades, India can even move towards BRICS as common currency. Imagine, imports from Russia or China paid in yuan or rubles, not dollars. And now, rupees joining that circle. And it's not just currency. Today, Air India also announced it's suspending U.S. flights, citing high costs and long detours due to Pakistan's airspace closure. But behind the scenes, this is part of the bigger picture. India pulling away from America. Automotive manufacturers are being told, forget the U.S. market, focus on Brazil, Colombia, Poland, and Africa. In other words, shift trade away from American shores. Trump and the U.S. leadership are not going to digest this easily. Why? Because Trump himself once said, our dominance will last as long as the dollar stays strong. Now, India, Russia, and China are all working to weaken that very foundation. Russia and China already trade in yuan and rubles. China is pushing Saudi Arabia to sell oil in yuan. And now India joins in. This is no small move. If these three giants, India, China, and Russia, stop using the dollar, America's economy will take a massive hit. Their stock market will fall, investors will withdraw, and without investors, the U.S. economy collapses. And there's more. Indian media just reported that Pakistani officials supposedly issued serious threats to India from inside America. Pakistan denies it. International media hasn't confirmed it. But India is pointing at Washington and saying, see, even threats against us are happening from American soil. India's conclusion? The U.S. is no longer a trustworthy friend. The decision to end America's global dominance. Push their stock market down. Encourage U.S. investors to leave India. Trump or no Trump, negotiations or no negotiations. India isn't backing down. They believe that stepping back now would mean being controlled again in the future. Meanwhile, China has sent India a warning. We'll invest, we'll support you against America, but don't cross our red line with Taiwan. Don't think you can be our friend and still side with the U.S. on Taiwan. And don't forget, Ladakh and Arunachal are still ours. So while India is joining China in the anti-dollar move, China is also reminding them who's boss in Asia. Looking ahead, this battle between India and America is going to get ugly, very ugly. And mark my words, the day Israel's interests with America are fulfilled, Israel could side with India to weaken the U.S., just like it once accepted America's dominance. In geopolitics, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interests.